Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. Our today's topic is greatest integer function. In short, we can write it like GIF, means greatest integer function. We also call it like step up function, or we also call it box X. It is something like y equals to f of x. We represent it like box X. Inside box, we write x and we read it as integral part of x, or we can read it as greatest integer of x or box x. I generally read it like box x. Now it's up to you how you call it. Greatest integer function, integral part of x, greatest integer of x or box x. It's up to you. It's your choice. I use box x. Got it? Let's move ahead. So what does it mean? If we have box 7.2, what its outcome? Look, 7.2 is a value somewhere between 7 and 8, isn't it? Now, the outcome of box 7.2 is like, now we are standing here 7.2. Now we start moving towards left. The very first integer that we get is the answer, is our required answer. Again, I repeat, the very first integer which we get on moving towards left. Got it? So in this case, we get 7. So answer is what? 7. I hope it is clear. Now have a look at this box 8.9. So 8.9 is a value somewhere between 8 and 9. Let us take it is here 8.9, between 8 and 9. Now we are standing here. Now we start moving towards left. The very first integer that we get is what? 8. So answer is 8. It's quite simple as A, B, C. Got it? Now if we take box minus 3.7. So minus 3.7 is a value somewhere between minus 4 and minus 3. Is it clear? So let us take it is here minus 3.7. Now we are standing here. Now what we have to do? We have to move towards left. So we start moving towards left. The very first integer that we get is minus 4. So our required answer is of course minus 4. Hope it is clear. Now one more example. Box minus 8.99. So minus 8.99 is a value somewhere between minus 8 and minus 9. So minus 8 minus 9. So minus 9 will be here, minus 8 is here, and minus 8.99, let's say it is here. Got it? Now we are standing here. Now we start moving towards left. The very first integer that we get is what? Minus 9. So here answer is minus 9. Is it clear? Now what if we take box minus 3? This is exactly integer. These are not integers. So far examples we have taken, these are not integers. Now we are taking example of an integer. So box minus 3. So in case of integer, here value will be minus 3 itself. So this is minus 3. Make a correction over here. This should be minus 3. Got it? So it is like box minus 3, this. Now we have to, according to our definition, what we have to do? We have to move towards left. The very first integer that we get is our required answer. But in this case, this is what? Integer itself. Got it? So in this case, we have the integer itself is the required answer. So remember this. In case of like if we have mod 15, this is integer, so answer will be 15 itself. In case of mod box pi, now here the value of box pi will be 3, because since we know that pi is equals to 3.14, not exactly, again I am repeating, not exactly, this is approximately equals to 3.14. Pi is approximately, it's a sign of approximately 3.14. आगे भी चलती है 3 point something something रहता है. Got it? This is irrational number. 3.14 is what? An irrational number, because this is non-terminating and non-repeating value. Non-terminating and non-repeating. Got it? So therefore pi is irrational number and its value is somewhere between 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Let's suppose this is here 3.4. Now what we have to do? We have to move towards left. We are standing here. Now we have to move towards left. The very first integer that we get is what? 3. So our required answer is what? 3. Hope you get it. So far whatever we have learned, I hope you are getting my points. Next example is let's say box E. Since we know that the value of E is approximately, again I am repeating approximately, this is not exact value, approximately equals to 2.71. This is again irrational number. Got it? So 2.71 approximate value. Then the box E will be, so again E is, let's suppose we have here somewhere between 2 and 3. So we are standing here. Now let's start moving towards left. The very first integer that we get is what? 2. So our required answer is 2. The outcome of box E is what? 2. I hope it is clear. Now what if I say box minus E? So box minus E means box minus 2.71 something something. Got it? So it means it's a value between minus 3 and minus 2. Let's suppose it is somewhere here minus 2.71 something. Got it? Now what we have to do? We are standing here. Now we have to move towards left. The very first integer that we get is what? Minus 3. So answer is what? Minus 3. Is it clear? Now box minus pi minus pi in the sense minus 3.14 something something. It's a value, again minus pi is a value between minus 4 and minus 3. Let's suppose minus pi is here. Now we are standing here. We have to move towards left. The very first integer that we get is minus 4. Therefore answer is minus 4. It's quite simple. Got it? I hope it is clear. So far whatever we have studied, I hope everything is clear. Now note it down. Box X is treated GIF, greatest integer function, only if mentioned in question, otherwise not. Got it? If it is mentioned in question that this representation is greatest integer function box X or integer part of X, then and then only we will treat this as GIF, otherwise not. Is it clear? Now we will try to understand what its graph looks like. Let's suppose we have box X. Let's say this is equals to Y, or we can say f of X since it's a function. Now let's say X is equals to 1.1. If X is equals to 1.1 and we take box 1.1 will be, of course this is equals to 1 because the integer just left of 1.1 will be 1. Got it? And if we take X equals to 1.3, 1.23, 1.3, 1.99, in all these cases box X will be equals to 1. it always remains constant. Is it clear? So what we are trying to say, if we put any value of x between 1 and 2, outcome is always constant, that is equals to 1. Is it clear? I hope you are getting my point, what I am trying to say. So in the same case, similarly we can say, if we take any value between 2 and 3, if x is between 2 and 3, outcome is always 2. If x is between 3 and 4, outcome is always 3. Got it? If x is between 0 and 1, outcome box x will be what? 0. Is it clear? Now let us try to trace its graph. If we have x between 0 and 1, outcome is 0. It means graph will be like this. Got it? If we have x between 1 and 2, outcome is always 1. If we put any value between 1 and 2, outcome is always 1. So here 1 is included, therefore we have solid circle here. 2 is not included, therefore hollow circle is here. I hope you are getting my point. Now again, if we have x somewhere between 2 and 3, then outcome will be 2 always. 2 is included here, 3 is not included here. Got it? Similarly, if x is between -1 and 0, outcome is always -1. So graph will be like this here. -1 is included because -1 is the integer on just left. Got it? On number line. If x is between -2 and -1, outcome is -2 always. -2 is included here. Between -3 and -2, outcome is always -3. So -3 is included here. Got it? So finally we get graph like this. We get graph like this. Got it? So you can see graph is like what? Step like graph. Therefore we also call it step up graph. Step up like graph. Got it? Steps are formed, you can see. Now if I ask you what is the domain of greatest integer function, what will be its domain? So graphically we can tell you the domain. If we talk about domain graphically, what does it mean? Domain is what? The portion covered by graph on the x-axis. Got it? So look at the graph, observe and tell the domain. How much portion on x-axis the graph has covered? You can see the complete x-axis, the whole x-axis has been covered by the graph. This portion. Now here 1 is not included, but 1 is included here. Got it? So 1 to 2, 2 is not included here, but 2 is included here. So whole complete x-axis is covered. So therefore domain is what? R. Got it? Now if I talk about range is what? If we talk graphically, range is something, the portion covered by graph on y-axis. Got it? Now look at the graph and tell the range. How much area, or we can say how much portion on y-axis is covered by the graph. So we can see, we can observe only integers here. -3 is included here. Then here we have gap here. This is not a part of graph. This is not part of graph. Got it? So only integers like -1, -2, -3, 0, 1, 2, 3. These points are covered. Got it? It means range is what? Set of integers. Set of integers. Got it? I hope you got my point. And what if I ask you the roots? What about roots? Look at the graph, analyze and tell me Okay, root is what? The graph. Root is the point where graph cuts the x-axis. So here we can say graph overlaps x-axis between 0 and 1. So between 0 and 1 we have infinite points. It means graph is cutting x-axis at infinite points. Got it? So we can say we have infinite roots. Is it clear? We have infinite roots. I hope you are getting my point. Okay, now let's move ahead. Next we have fractional part function. Fractional part function. Fractional part function is represented like x enclosed in curly braces. Got it? This is what representation. So we can say y equals to f of x equals to fractional part function. We read it like fractional part of x. Got it? Now let us take any number. Any number in the world can be represented like integral part plus fractional part. You can take any number in the world. Any number is comprises of integral part and fractional part. Got it? So here x is any number, that is integral part plus fractional part. I hope you are getting my point. So x is shifted towards left. So we get fractional part equals to x minus box x. Is it clear? Now look yourself. This part x minus box x, this can never be negative. How? From understanding point of view, you can take an example like if we take x equals to, let's suppose 3, then here we will be having box 3, answer will be 0. Got it? This is 0, this is not negative, not positive. What we call 0 is what? Non-negative number. Now if we take any other value of x, let's suppose we take 3.5, then minus box 3.5, then answer will be 3.5 minus 3. Box 3.5 will be equals to 3. Here again we will get positive outcome. Now if we take x as negative like minus 3.5 minus box minus 3.5. So minus 3.5, the value of box minus 3.5 will be what? Minus 4, of course. So minus minus we get plus. So minus 3.5 plus 4.5 we get positive outcome. So you can see if x is negative real number or positive real number or x is negative integer, we get outcome always non-negative, that is 0. Non-negative in the sense 0 plus positive. Is it clear? That's why we are saying this part is never negative. Is it clear? So we can say that fractional part is always non-negative, 0 plus positive. Now if we have x is integer, x belongs to integer, it's a symbol of belongs to. If x belongs to integer, then x is equals to box x. Got it? If x is not belongs to integer, what if x not belongs to integer? If x is not integer, then box x will be somewhere on the left because it's an integer, just left on number line. So we can define fractional part as a distance between because above we write like this. Look, I can show you. Fractional part is what? X minus box x. So here we can say, look, x minus box x. This is what? It's a distance between the number and its integral part. Got it? This is the required distance, and since we know that distance can never be negative, that's why we are saying that fractional part is always non-negative. Distance can be 0, there is no doubt. Distance can be positive, but distance can never be negative. Is it clear? So, and since we know that distance is measured from, we always measure distance from origin. So, we can say x minus box x. Is it clear? So, this is another way of defining fractional part of x. So, what is it? Distance between the number and its integral part. I hope it is clear so far. Whatever we have studied, you are getting my points, you are learning something. Okay, let's do some examples. If we have x equals to 2.7, what will be the box x? Box 2.7 is of course 2. 2.7 is somewhere between 2 and 7. If we move towards left, the very first integer we get 2, therefore answer is 2 here. And here fractional part, if we talk about fractional part, so as we said earlier, it's a distance between number and its integral part. Then number is what? 2.7. So this is 2.7. Its integral part is what? 2. Then the distance between 2 and 2.7, you can find it out yourself. So this comes out to be 0.7. Got it? So fractional part is what? 0.7. I hope it is clear. Let us take second example. If x is equals to minus 7.8, then the value of box minus 7.8 will be of course minus 8, because minus 7.8 is a value between minus 8 and minus 7, and we start moving towards left. The very first integer that we get is what? Minus 8. So box x is minus 8. Got it? Now the distance between x and box x. What is this distance? This distance is 0.2. Got it? So we get 0.2 here. I hope it is clear. So now here fractional part is 0.2. Okay, alternatively, look here. If we have something like minus 7.8, so we can write it down like minus 7 minus 0.8. Got it? So you can look here, fractional part is also negative. Minus 0.8, this is fractional part and this is negative, but this is not possible because earlier we said fractional part can never be negative, but here it is negative. So what should we do now? So what we do, we subtract 1 and add 1 here. We can do minus 1 plus 1. It doesn't make any difference in this. We will get again this one. So minus 1 and plus 1. Now minus 7 minus 1 we get minus 8, and 1 minus 0.8 we get 0.2. So now you can see fractional part becomes positive. So here we have 0.2 as fractional part, and here also we have fractional part as 0.2. Got it? So and integral part is minus 8. You can see here also integral part is minus 8. Is it clear? So we can also do like this. And on number line, if you want to do, it's your choice. You can also do like this. Okay. Now example 3, if we say x equals to minus 9, this is what integer now. So box minus 9 will be minus 9 here, and since it's an integer and we can clearly see there is no any fractional part, then fractional part will be 0 here. Got it? Because we can write minus 0.0 like this. We can always write like this. So we can see fractional part is 0 here. Let's move ahead. Now if we have x equals to minus 11.82, then box x will be of course minus 12, no doubt in this. What will be the fractional part? So in this case, like minus 11 minus 0.82, we can write like this. Minus 11.82 means minus 11 minus 0.82. Here fractional part is also negative, but since we know that fractional part can never be negative, so in order to make it positive, what we do minus 1 plus 1. Got it? So minus 11 minus 1 is minus 12. 1 minus 0.82 is what? 0.18. You can calculate it yourself. You are not a kid anymore. You are grown up now. So you can do it yourself. No? Okay, now so this comes out to be 0.18. So this is what fractional part, and it is positive of course, and the fractional part is minus 12. Got it? And this is we have done mathematically, and if you want to do it graphically and on number line, you can do. You can visualize here. Minus 11.82, it's a number between minus 12 and minus 11. So we are here. Now start moving towards left. The very first integer that we get is what? Minus 12. Got it? So fractional part is minus 12. You can see, verify yourself. Now since we know that fractional part is what? Distance between the number and its integral part. This is the number and this is integral part. Now find out the distance difference. You can find it out yourself. We get 0.18. Or simply if you are supposed to find out only fractional part, so what should you do? Subtract 0.82 from 1. 1 minus 0.82. Got it? You will get the fractional part as positive. Got it? So we have a table over here. Now if x is equals to 7, let's say, that is integer. What we want to say, if x is integer, positive integer, minus 8 means negative integer, 9.2 means any positive real number, or any positive real number, minus 11.7 means any negative real number. Got it? So here fractional part, the value of fractional part will be, in case of integer of course 0, 0. In case of 9.2, here fractional part is what? Positive. So fractional part will be 0.2. Minus 11.7 means here fractional part is also negative. So what should we do? Subtract 0.7 from 1. 1 minus 0.7, we will get 0.3. So fractional part is what? 0.3. Got it? I hope it is clear. Now what is the value of fractional part of pi? Fractional part of pi. Now here people generally make mistake. What they do, they write pi as 3.14 and write fractional part is equals to 0.14. Of course they are wrong. This is not true, because the value of pi is not 3.14. This is approximate value, but we know that pi lies between, somewhere between 3 and 4. So this is right. Pi lies somewhere between 3 and 4. Got it? And its box will be 3. Box pi will be 3. Got it? So fractional part is what? It's a distance between number and its integral part. Number is what? Pi. Integral part is what? 3. So pi minus 3. Get it? So the value of fractional part of pi is what? Pi minus 3. So this is your answer. So remember this, fractional part of pi is not equals to 0.14. Remember this. Now what if I say fractional part of minus e? Fractional part of minus e. Since we know that the value of e is again this is approximate value, we know that e is equals to approximately 2.71. So now here we have minus e. Minus e means approximately minus 2.71. So we can say that minus e lies somewhere between minus 3 and minus 2. This is the number and its box will be minus 3. Got it? So fractional part is what? It's a distance between number and its integral part. Since we know that we always measure distance from origin, so we can say like distance from origin to this number is what? 3, and from this like this. Got it? So 3 minus e. I hope it is clear. So fractional part of minus e is what? 3 minus e. This is equals to this. I hope it is clear. And fractional part of e, this is quite simple. E is 2. Again on number line 2 and 3. E lies somewhere between 2 and 3. This is the number and its box is this. Then fractional part of e is what? E minus 2. Got it? this distance e minus 2. I hope it is clear. Now, so far whatever we have learned, I hope you got all the points. So note it down. Fractional part x is considered fractional part function only if mentioned, otherwise not. In question, if it is written, if it is mentioned that this thing, this symbol, this representation is fractional part, then only you can consider it as a fractional part, otherwise not. Is it clear? Fine. Now let us take a look at graph of fractional part of x. Okay, let y equals to fractional part of x. Since we know that fractional part of x can be written like x minus box x, means number and number minus its integral part. It's a distance between number and its integral part. Okay, now if x belongs to 0 to 1, x belongs to 0 to 1, 0 is included, 1 is not included here. So between 0 and 1, the value of box x is 0. So here we are left with only y equals to x. Got it? And y equals to x, if we plot, it's a line like this passing through origin. It's a line like this. Got it? Now, but here what we want the portion of the line between 0 and 1 only. 0 is included, 0 and 1 only. So required portion is this. Got it? So this is the required portion that we get this, and the rest portion you can remove. So remove the rest portion, that is you can remove this portion, you can remove this portion. So the only portion we are left with is this one. Got it? I hope it is clear. Now look at here. If x belongs to 1 and 2, if x lies between 1 and 2, then the value of box x will be 1. So we get y equals to x minus 1. Again, it's a equation of a straight line. If we plot this line, y equals to x minus 1, this line is like this. This one line. This line represents y equals to x minus 1. Got it? You can, I hope you know how to trace the line y equals to x minus 1. If you put x equals to 0, we get y equals to minus 1. Minus 1 is here. If you put y equals to 0, we get x equals to 1. That is this point. Now if we join these 2 points, we will get this line. Got it? But we want the portion only between 1 and 2. Only between 1 and 2. 1 and 2. This is our required portion. And remove the rest portion. We can remove this portion. The red portion which you can see on the screen is our required graph. Got it? So we get this portion only. Similarly, we can do with other lines also. If x lies between 2 and 3, box x is equals to 2, the line is y equals to x minus 2. If x lies between 3 and 4, box x is what, 3 here. So again we get equation of line. So again you can plot these lines like this. Got it? And keep the portion of the lines between these values. Got it? So finally we get a graph like this. This one is our required graph. It's a graph of fractional part of x, and you are supposed to memorize the equation of these lines also. This equation will help you later on this chapter in solving the problems. Got it? So now look at the graph. Now if I ask you what is the domain, what is the range, what are the roots, period and all, you can tell graphically. By observing graphically you can tell all these things. Got it? So here if I say x belongs to minus 1 to 0, box x will be 0. Got it? And we get minus 1 to 0. What will be the value of box x? Of course minus 1. Y is equals to, we are writing x minus box x. If x lies between minus 1 and 1, minus 1 to 0, we will get box x, the value of box x will be what? -1. So we get +1 here. So this line, and this line will be like this. If you put x equals to 0, we get y equals to 1. If you put y equals to 0, we get x equals to -1. Join these 2 points, we will get the lines. Got it? And but we have to keep the portion of the line between -1 and 0 only. -1 and 0 means this one portion only. So we can remove this portion. Got it? Similarly, in the same manner, we will get these lines. So finally, this is the graph of fractional part. I hope you got the point. Now, what is the domain? Domain is what? The portion on the x-axis that the graph makes on x-axis. The portion covered by graph on the x-axis. Got it? So look at the graph and tell me the domain. So we can see the complete x-axis is covered by the graph. Got it? So you can see this portion is covered by this line. This is not included, but here this point is included. Again, this portion is covered by this line. This point is not included, but this point is included by this line. This portion is included by this line. Got it? So entire x line is covered. Therefore, domain is what? R. Now, what is range? Range is what? The portion covered by graph on y-axis. Now look at the graph and tell me the range. So what is the portion covered by the graph on the x-axis? It's between 0 and 1. 0 is included. So you can see 1 is not included here. So 0 to 1. 0 is included, with 1 we have open bracket, means 1 is not included here. Got it? Now, what are the roots? Root means the points where the graph cuts the x-axis. The point where the graph cuts the x-axis. So at how many points the graph cuts the x-axis here? So we can see there are lots of points, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, lots of points, infinite points. Got it? But the points are integers only. And the points are integers only. Got it? So roots are all the integers. If we talk about period, is it periodic? If I say fractional part is periodic, yes, of course it is periodic. Periodic function means if we plot the graph of the function, if the graph repeats itself after certain interval, then the graph is called periodic. So here period is what? 1. We can see at a distance of 1 in this interval graph is this. After this interval, graph is repeating itself. So here period is 1. The minimum length, we can say period is what? The minimum length after which the graph repeats itself. Got it? I hope it is clear. Again, I am repeating, period is what? The minimum length after which the graph repeats itself. So this is period. And of course, the function is periodic with period 1. Got it? So I think it's enough for this lecture. In next lecture, we will learn about the properties of box X and fractional part simultaneously. Got it? So that's all for this lecture.